What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Hall of Fame Bets YouTube NBA betting live stream. Today, we are going to go through some NBA player props, NBA parlays for tonight's slate of games, and going to see if we can find some good value here. Do some really thorough research and find some player props, some parlays with great value for you guys for tonight. So, let me pop over here. We are on the trends tab as always. And also, shout out to everyone down below in the live chat. Can't even call it Casper dropping their player props and parlays down below, guys. If you got something for tonight, drop it down below. We'll just take a look on the live stream if you cooked up with your research or if maybe there's some holes in what you're looking at. But yeah, drop that down below. We'll go through that shortly. But I'm going to give you guys a quick player prop, and then we'll switch over to someone else's. So, first thing I'm going to do, guys, on trends, as always, we're going to apply that hit rate slider. We're going to go, let's notch that thing up to 70% plus. And, guys, this is on Hall of Fame Bets that we're doing this research. And then we're going to put our odds filter on. I'm going to bump that up to minus 200. And we're going to take a little look here and see what kind of value we're finding. So, right here, he's been recently traded, so not loving the value there in terms of it's pretty fresh, and the data sometimes when players have been recently traded, not as good. Same with Olynyk here. So we're going to just keep doing a little scroll here and see what kind of good stuff we can find. Grady Dick's an interesting one. I wonder if there's any injuries there. And guys, I'm just going to take a scroll here and just see what we can find. Is there anything that stands out to us? I'd be curious to see. This is one that I was looking at earlier today. Darius Garland under 3.5 threes. Hit in 90% of games this season. Offered at minus 155. And hit it, 7 of the last 10. Of course, the thing is here, guys, right now, Donovan Mitchell's out. So we're going to have to apply our filters and see if we're cooking with some heat or if maybe there's some things that we're missing here. So we're going to go Darius Garland. We're going to go under. And guys, as I do this, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on each of these props down below in the live chat. So in the chat, let me know if it's at fire. Are you guys rocking with it? How are we feeling questionable? Would love to know your thoughts as we go through this. So we're going Darius Garland under 3.5 threes. Also, if you're not subscribed too, make sure to do that. We're almost at 900 subscribers. All right, so this is hitting 7 of the last 10 games, which is pretty solid. And, of course, on the season, it's been phenomenal. But what are other factors we're going to look at? Well, we're going to see in home games. Hitting 95% of home games. Looks like all but one home game this season. That's looking pretty good. Is there any head-to-head data against Phoenix? Yes, he went under against Phoenix earlier this season. That's a pretty good look there. Let's take a look and see. You know what? Let's take a look and see at 3-point defense rank. This is a really great one for these 3-point stats, guys. Definitely recommend this. So we're going to adjust that slider. Do we go below? I'd say we go below average, to be honest, because they're around the 25th percentile, maybe just slightly above. So we're going to adjust the below average, hitting 88% of games against below average 3-point defenses. Looking pretty fire, if I do say so myself. Now the big one, right? Let's check the roster tab. Yep, Donovan Mitchell still out for tonight's game. So we're going to go over here and we're going to see without Donovan Mitchell. Because, right, Garland's going to be more impactful tonight. That's why we're seeing a lot of his lines, right? A lot of, suggested unders. So we're going to have to see, from the sports books, that is, right? So we're going to see maybe he goes over more when Mitchell's out. Even when Mitchell's out, still gone under in 83% of games. Now, guys, when we're looking at recent performances, data over the course of the season, head-to-head, home, 3-point defense rank, and Mitchell out, this checks all those boxes. So for me, I would definitely consider tailing this in terms of what the data is showing us. And this is, again, guys, where you have to weigh your own pros and cons. But I think at minus 155, I saw this was offered at minus 115 on ESPN Bet earlier today. So in terms of what we're looking at data-wise, this seems to have great value and prime example of the trends tool showing us how to cook. So let's go back over here and see if we can find any other trends, and then I'm going to hop into a few of your guys's. So I'm going to do one more on here. What about how many the opponents is allowing? Great question, Casper. So if we go back over, let's go back over to Garland. And this is a great question. I'm going to be honest. So when it comes to the matchup box, it is one of the things that I'm checking, but it's not if it's supposedly a bad matchup, right? In this case, they allow a lot of 3-pointers to point guard. So that's something that I'm putting in my information. But then I'm checking that with similar ranked 3-point defenses. And then also checking that with head-to-head. So in this case, while they do allow a lot of threes to other point guards, what I'm checking here is against other similar 3-point ranked defenses, so other weaker 3-point defenses, Garland's still done really well. And then also against Phoenix previously, well as in he went under, and then also against Phoenix previously, he went under. So while this is a con here, I like to really check the defensive rank and head-to-head filters before I just go, because I'm not going to just cancel something off the matchup grade. Again, it's something I'm considering, but that's where head-to-head comes in really handy, and then also against other similar ranked defenses, 3-point defenses, rebounding teams, if that makes sense. So I see Jay Murray Jr. has dropped Nurkic 4+ assists. This is a really interesting one because I worked on a parlay earlier today, guys, where it was Nurkic over 2.5 assists. So I'd be curious to see what 4 assists is saying. And then Jay, as I'm going through this, let me know in the live chat, what is it that you like about this prop? What are some areas for concern? What are things that you're seeing that make you kind of want to potentially tail this? So we're seeing this as being offered at plus 132. Very interesting. So 55% hit rate on the season, minus 110. At plus 132, a slight edge, not really much of an edge, but on par with the sports books. And we see over the last 20, this has performed really well. So super solid insight here. And Dylan, no, we're just kind of going with the flow. We're using the Hall of Fame bets tools and seeing what kind of stuff shows up for us. And then also, if you have a player prop or parlay that you're looking at for tonight and want us to review, drop it down below in the live chat and we will do that for you. And guys, all this research is being done using Hall of Fame bets. You can get 25% off your first month down below in the description. So anyways, back to this Nurkic 4+ assists. I really like the last 20. That looks really good to me. 67% of games. I'd be curious to see. This is one thing I noticed when I was researching his over 2.5 though. Away games is kind of a big deal for Nurkic. 54% of away games, he's gone 4+ assists. But at plus 132, while this isn't ideal, it's still, better than the offered odds that we're getting from the sports book. So again, this checks the box for me. Let's see against Cleveland head-to-head. Hit 4+ assists last time against Cleveland. That looks pretty good as well. Let's take a look here, excuse me, at defensive rank. All right, so Cleveland are a really strong defensive team, guys. So we're going to filter this up to that top quartile. And this is probably our first red flag or our first con on this one, is that Nurkic has only gone over or recorded 4+ assists in 40% of games against defenses ranked in the top quartile. So against those really top defenses, maybe struggling a bit more assist-wise. So that's something we have to be, keep in mind. What if we filter down to the above average? Still only 48% at above average. So he's assisting a lot better when he's facing weaker defenses, which makes sense, right? Now, this doesn't always correlate, or there's not always causation, but in this case, there looks to be a strong correlation between these two variables. So I think in terms of over the course of the season, last 20, away even, head-to-head, it looks pretty good. Defensive rank keeps me a bit on the toes, but there's good value at plus 132 here. So you know what? I think it's solid. Again, this all comes down to, though, guys, eventually you have to weigh your own pros and cons individually, what you feel comfortable betting with, right? But I think there are definitely some good pros to be had here. So who was that dropped that research? Jay Murray Jr. That's some pretty good research there, my friend. I'm going to take one more from the live chat. Then we'll hop back over to trends, do a little bit more, and then we'll maybe start to look into some parlays for tonight, because I know those games are coming up quick, guys, so we definitely want to get that research taken care of you. So we're going to go to Kyrie Irving. This is from Casper, over 2.5 threes. Let's get this typed in here, Kyrie Irving. And yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the live chat, drop a like. And like I said, all research is from Hall of Fame Bets. Link in the description for 25% off your first month. Guys, this is the tool that we're doing all our research with tonight. I think lots of people here are subscribed to Hall of Fame Bets. so they can speak to themselves in the live chat about how good these tools are, how helpful they are. So we're going to go over here to threes for Kyrie Irving. We're going to go that over 2.5. Okay. This is being offered at minus 152. We can see in the last 5, Kyrie has been on fire, hitting 4 in the last 5, 8 of the last 10. That looks really good. Over the course of the season now, he's hit in 57% of games this season, minus 135. So slightly below the ideal or the offered odds of minus 154. Not ideal, but it's not like we're getting terrible value on this. I think the recent games show that he's been hot recently and shooting the ball really well. In away games, this is where I'm starting to feel a little bit iffy. At 47% in away games, plus 115 at minus 154. That's a pretty significant negative edge, guys. And we want positive edge. And just so you guys know what I'm saying when I'm saying edge, I'm comparing the offered odds to the implied odds. And yeah, so definitely that gives me a little cause for concern there. But Kyrie's performances have been really good recently. What about against Chicago? Hasn't played Chicago this season. Against similar ranked three-point defenses, looks like Chicago are a weaker three-point defense. Let's try and filter down to that bottom quartile there. If we select the slider down all the way down here, that bottom quartile, really interesting. And sometimes this comes up, guys, where players who are, really elite playing bottom quartile three-point defenses still aren't hitting. So I think this is maybe a bit of a cause for concern. This can often, this is where, guys, something like this makes me want to dive into the box score. And we see, like, for example, there in some of these games against bottom quartile three-point defenses, maybe these are some of the weaker teams in the league, and in fact they are, right? The Lakers, Jazz, Spurs, Memphis, Charlotte. So against weaker three-point defenses, which typically are also weaker teams in the league, Kyrie's gone under a lot, and that's probably because a lot of it has to do with blowout games and maybe a little bit of minutes being impacted there, or he just happened to shoot bad in a smaller sample size. So let's bump this up because Chicago are pretty close to that 25th percentile. Let's bump that up. We see it still being at 47%, 1 plus 115. So I think there definitely are some cons here, I'm not going to lie. But I think his recent performances are a strong insight here too. So again, you have to weigh your pros and cons. For me personally, I would feel like maybe it's a little too risky considering some of the data we've looked over. But if you want to ride a hot streak, Kyrie tonight does look pretty good. So yeah. And Dylan says, I vouch for the app. Joined in February. Made a little over 800 on the month. Guys, that speaks for itself, right? I don't even need to say it. Our own subscribers are too. So like I said, if you want to check it out, link in the description, 25% off your first month. Come check out Hall of Fame Bets. And let's hop back over to the Trends tool and see if we can find anything else going on here. I'd be really curious to see this Grady Dick one. I haven't seen this one pop up yet. And I'm... Excuse me, guys. Just recovering from a little cold there. Got to bear with me on that one. But let's take a look and see. What injuries are we dealing with? So quite a few injuries here for the Raptors. So this could be kind of the reason why this Grady Dick one is. His minutes are probably going to increase massively. Let's see. Without Chris here, let's see how Grady Dick's done. So minutes relatively the same. Rebounds 2.1. What other players do we feel like could impact this tonight? Bruce Brown being out, that could have an impact. Let's see how that impacts Grady Dick. Not impacting his minutes massively. Gary Trent Jr. could be one. And I think another big one, of course, is going to be RJ Barrett, guys. Minutes increase quite significantly when Gary Trent Jr. is out. What about without RJ Barrett? So not a massive impact on this minute. And then Scotty Barnes. This could be the one. Yeah. When Scotty Barnes is out, Grady Dick is playing 30-plus minutes tonight. And those rebounds, though, are still below, man. Well, let's take a look here. Let's take a little deeper dive into this. And, guys, if you have any player props, parlays, like I said, feel free to drop those in the live chat. And we will review those for tonight's game and see who's cooking and who's not. Who's got some heat for tonight. So... let's see, under 3.5 rebounds being offered at plus 118. So this is the big one, as of course we wanted to see without Scotty Barnes. So yeah, that's where we're kind of starting to feel a little more nervous, right? His minutes when Scotty Barnes is not playing close to 30 minutes per game, and that's a big difference from over the course of the season where he's averaging 17 minutes per game. So yeah, that's the one thing with the trends, guys. I definitely recommend you don't just look at a trend with high edge and then immediately plug that into your sportsbook. No, we're going to take a look at the trend deeper. We're going to click on it and we're going to go into the stat page and apply our filters, check injuries on the roster page. That is all a vital step in this. So, and I know it takes a little more time, but if we want to research really good props, right, we're trying to streamline this as much as possible for you guys. But if we want to research really good props, we have to take our time and just do a bit of a deeper dive here. So I'm going to keep scrolling here and see kind of what else we've got on the docket for tonight. See if there's anything else that kind of jumps out at us that really kind of gives us that push towards maybe doing something here. Ivy under 19.5 points really kind of gets me curious, though they are playing, I believe it's the Hornets, who are a weaker defensive team and just a weaker team in general. So that's where I'm, I would naturally kind of stray away from that one. Let's see what else we've got here. And guys, like I said, I see one for Jarrett Allen under 12.5. That could be a really interesting one to take a look at in a second. I'll pull that one up in a second here from Casper. I think a couple other people had requested it too. Let's see if there's any others. I'm just kind of guys liking to take a scroll in. This is where we see Jarrett Allen under 13.5. So let's take a look at 13.5 first. And then we can go take a look at 12.5, because 13.5 on ESPN Bet, for anyone, I've said this a couple times, guys, on live streams, but ESPN Bet right now has some really good odds just because they're trying to acquire market share, right? The big players, FanDuel, DraftKings, they're trying to compete, so they're offering more favorable odds. So I would definitely recommend, guys, getting on ESPN Bet. And no, we don't have, I don't have any sort of partnership, or we're not partnered with ESPN Bet in any way. It's just what I've noticed from a bettor's perspective with odds looks pretty good there. So, of course, one thing we have to take into account is Mobley is, I believe, still injured. Let's double check that. Yes, Mobley is still out, so that's going to impact Allen's rebounds. But let's see. This has hit 13.5, guys, has hit in 76% of games this season, offered at minus 140. Phenomenal edge, right? Absolutely phenomenal edge. Last 10, hit in 7 of the last 10, though in the last 5, only 3 of the last 5. So that's something to be aware of. This is where it comes down to. Let's take a look at Phoenix. Went way under last time against Phoenix. In home games, has gone still under at a very good clip. Let's see without Mobley. This is going to be this is kind of the make or break here. So without Mobley, still hitting 65% of games, minus 185. Okay, I would still feel pretty good there. I think it's a worthwhile. That's the worthwhile con to kind of consider, because I think overall it looks pretty good. The other thing I'd want to check is the rebounding rank for Phoenix. They're a pretty good rebounding team. They've got some players like Durant who are kind of good, and we see against those tougher rebounding opponents, Allen not as good on the boards, 87%, minus 670. So I really like this Allen for under 13.5 rebounds, but let's see what some of the people were saying under 12.5. This is where you're really starting to get even more value here at plus 102 on Caesars. This is hitting 73% of games this season. The big one's going to be without Mobley, right? That's going to be a huge one. And he's gone under this line in 62% of games without Mobley, so still pretty good. Last 10, still similar there. Against other rebounding teams. Now we see against those top rebounding teams, maybe it gets impacted. Let me adjust the slider there to above average. So still looking pretty good. So, guys, my recommendation on, or what the data is recommending us really is for Allen under 12.5 rebounds. If you want to play it a little safer, go to 13.5 if you're feeling a little bit more risky. play it at 12.5, but I think both look pretty good. So Casper, thank you for sharing that. That's a phenomenal insight from you, and really appreciate that. So yeah, guys, that's some player prop research. And guys, this has been all using the Hall of Fame Bets Trends tool. And what the Trends tool, guys, allows us to do is take a look at the edge, and that's by comparing the hit rate over the course of the season with the offered odds, which can also be calculated into a percentage form. And guys, we're applying filters, the hit rate filter and the odds filter, to find player props in a good odds range that we want to bet just by themselves, and then also with a good hit rate on the season. And this is all using Hall of Fame bets. Like I said, link in the description to get 25% off your first month, guys. This is a game changer and a really great research tool, so definitely recommend you all checking it out. And like I said, our subscribers have already spoken to it, quoting Dylan here, saying, I vouch for the app, joined in February, made a little over $800 a month. That is not my words. That is the words of our own subscribers. So, yeah, some pretty good stuff here, guys. Sorry, excuse me. Let's jump into some parlay research, because we are going to cook up some fire parlays for tonight. So, I'd be curious to see what you guys have going on for parlays. Drop your parlays down below in the live chat. One that I had researched earlier for you guys, or earlier today, was this one, and I'm gonna see if we can find it on Trends here, just to give you kind of an analysis into my research process. So I adjusted for the parlay. It was a 3-legger at plus 114, and I adjusted that odds slider down to minus 250 because I'm comfortable, with that first one. It still needs to have some good value, but I'm still comfortable, at a little lower odds range. And this is where I just kind of, like I said, I scroll and I know, for example, Olenek, and a couple other players up here are on teams with a lot of injuries. So that's why I'm kind of just scrolling past these. And obviously, I'm researching quite consistently, but that's why, guys, always check the roster page, the stat page and the roster page when you're researching these props, because there could be other additional factors like injury that aren't popping up right away. So that's just something to keep in mind. So again, we're going to take a look here and see if we can find this quickly, or we're going to, Kuminga under 6.5 rebounds. That's an interesting one just because Curry's out. I'm curious to see how Curry's being out would affect Kuminga's rebounds. The only thing is the sample size of Curry being out is pretty low. Let's take a look here and see if we can find some good parlay starter material. And like I said, guys, in the live chat, please leave your... this is an interesting one right here. Reggie Jackson over 1.5 assists. This could be good for a prop, too, to be honest. What's it being offered at, though? Let's see. Let's take a look here. Being offered at minus... Oh, wait up. What was it? Let's go back to... Where'd it go? Oh, yeah. Over 1.5 assists. So, assists. And we're going to go over 1.5. Yeah, so this is hitting 89% of games this season. That's phenomenal. Last 10. 9 of the last 10. Home games, I mean, that's fantastic. Against the Raptors, went over comfortably against the Raptors. I mean, guys, this is really checking all the boxes. This is some great starter material for our parlay. So, yeah, 92% of games against below average defenses. Is there any sort of injury stuff we should be aware of? Not really. So I'm loving this Reggie Jackson over 1.5 assists, guys, at minus 240. So let's use this to start our parlay. We're going to hop over to the parlay optimizer here. So I'm going to keep it a same game parlay. So I'm going to keep it, let's go Jackson over 1. And guys, this is one actually I hadn't researched earlier today. I created content on our socials today, so I'd done some research prior. And this is one that we just found now. And you guys see how easy it is, right? Like, we're just kind of clicking around, just kind of scrolling through, and I'm able to find a really great starter prop for our parlay. So there's a couple ways that we can go about this. One thing I'm going to check quickly. I'm just going to close a couple of my tabs here. Sorry, just give me a second. Couple things I'm going to check here. I'm going to go over to leaderboards. I'm going to select this game between Where is it? Where's Denver? Yep, Denver, Toronto. We see Jokic 25 plus points, hitting 6 of the last 10. Be curious to see, though, Jokic at... okay. 20 plus. Let's see. So I'm going to go back over to trends, though, for now, guys. And what I'm going to do is I am going to select... Guys, and if anyone's just joining us, we're cooking up a fire parlay for tonight's game. So feel free to hop in. So if you guys have any prop suggestions for this parlay, let me know down below in the live chat if you've researched any for this game. So I'm going to get rid of the odds slider now, and I'm going to bump that hit rate slider up, up, up. So we're going to go 80% plus on the season, and we are going to select the game that we want, which is the Denver game. And so we already found a prop, guys, with some decent value, Jackson minus 240. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for some really high-performing props to kind of pair with this. So let's see here. That's really weird. Oh, yeah, these are all the Toronto props. Got it. Okay. So let me add this back in. And again, we already talked about the Olynyk and Dick prop and what some issues are there. So we're going to see if we can find anything else. Let's take a look at this Peyton Watson under 5.5 rebounds. I'm curious if there's something that we're maybe missing here because there's a lot of green in that image. That looks really good off the bat, but that's where we have to do a little bit more digging. So if we go over here and it was rebounds under or 5.5, right, and under. So that looks phenomenal. Shooting guard. Let's see if there's any injuries. Not really any notable injuries. I feel really good adding this prop to the mix, guys. Let me know what you think. Let's see last 10 how this has been impacted. Gone under in each of the last 10. His minutes in the last 10 are 18.4 over the course of the season. Oh, still similar. Wait up. Let's go to the roster page to see this. So 18.4 last 10. And let's see. Watson's minutes still saying very similar over this period. So, guys, yeah, let's add in Peyton Watson. Let's see. And, guys, if anyone has ESPN Bet, if you could let me know what the odds are for this parlay right now, that would be phenomenal. I think we're going to add in a third leg just to get a little bit more value here because this is minus 240, minus 300. My guess is right now this is probably in like a minus 130, 140 range. So we're going to want to add one more like really strong prop to go along with these two. And then I think if we got that, I think we're really cooking. So yeah, if anyone has ESPN Bet, please plug this in. It would really help. And we can kind of go from there. So let's see. And I may just keep this all on ESPN Bet, just because we could cook something up fire over there. So let's see here. We want something with a decent amount of value, but honestly, we could probably go towards the minus 500, even minus 600 range with how close we are to the good value. But let's see if we can. I'm gonna apply the odds slider here. And I'm going to see if we can work with something, below minus 500 just to keep the value kind of, decent at least. So, all right. So we have Watson and Jackson. Let's see. I'd be curious to see if there's anything Jokic related. This is an interesting one. How do we feel about Jokic 20-plus points? I feel quite confident. The last 10 data isn't the strongest, but the rest of it looks pretty good. I like Jamal Murray under 9.5 assists. That seems like a lot of assists. Let's take a look here. What do we prefer, guys? Murray under 9.5 assists, or do we prefer Jokic on over 20 points? I'd be curious to hear what you guys prefer down below in the live chat. And like I said, if someone could plug this in ESPN Bet, that would be phenomenal. That would just be really great to hear what the odds are for this. And also, this could be a situation of us then going in and plugging this in the Parlay Optimizer. So let's see. Jamal Murray, assists, under 9.5. And let's see. Okay, last 20. He's had some high assisting games in the last 20. I'd be curious to see against Toronto. Went comfortably under against Toronto. In home games, how has this been impacted? Okay, still gone under quite significantly in home games. Last 10 looks pretty good. So let's take a look here. We're going to look at Murray. Jokic, 10-plus rebounds is pretty good. I know he's performed really well recently. I think that's minus 700, though, so that's pretty low odds. But, I mean, it depends on what we're getting for these first two legs, right? I'd want to, with a three-legger, guys, I'm not going to lie, though, I want to be at least over plus 100 at the bare minimum, ideally pushing plus 150, though. That's kind of where I want to be at if I'm doing a three-leg parlay. So just something to keep in mind as well, too. So we could go Murray under 9.5. I'd be curious, Dylan, what do you get? Did you put that in ESPN bet? And I'd be curious to know what you got for that parlay if you did. So, guys, look at this, right? This will probably be in that plus 120 range. The implied odds on the season, this is hitting 68% of games this season, minus 215. That is a phenomenal edge right there. And we can see in home games. So this is a bit of a sticky point here is the home games. Now that's bringing us a lot more alongside. So this was maybe where I kind of question it. Last 10 looks pretty good, though. The head-to-head, hitting the head-to-head. I think overall, guys, on stream, we have cooked up some heat. And I'd be curious to see the one that... So Watson's rebounding is a little better at home, and Murray's assists are slightly better. Plus 130.43 on ESPN, guys. I think this is some great value if you're asking me. Even on home games, right, at 54%, minus 114, we're still getting a pretty good odd. I used FanDuel. I don't have ESPN, unfortunately. I got Jokic at minus 450. Got it, Dylan. So, yeah, minus 115 to plus 143 is still probably a pretty good edge in those home games. Overall, over the course of the season, looks really good. 75% of the last 10. 3 of the last 5. But yeah, I think this looks really good. I'd be curious to see the last 20. So there definitely is at home, this doesn't perform quite as well. And I think that partially has to do with Watson rebounding slightly better at home. Murray's assists, and Jackson maybe performing a little less good at home. But I think those first two are locks, and then it's kind of what you want to play with on that third one, right? Murray under 9.5 assists. I'd be curious to see what Jokic 20-plus points looks like. Let's take a look here. But yeah, guys, I think we found some great value. So feel free to start. We've cooked something up on stream. Hopefully this one hits tonight, and we can come back to this and celebrate. But also would love to hear what you guys have cooked up for tonight. And down below in the live chat, drop your parlays for tonight. And like I said, guys, this is how easy Hall of Fame Bets makes this. So I definitely recommend, if you are not subscribed, check out the promo code and link in the description, and you can get 25% off your first month. And guys, people who have subscribed are speaking to the value of the platform. This looks even better, to be honest, here. With Jokic 20-plus points, hitting 72% of games this season, 6 of the last 10, so that could be a little bit of a red flag. 3 of the last 5. Did it hit in the head-to-head? It did. Defensive rank. This could be an interesting one. Against average ranked defenses, looks pretty good. So I think overall, again, it's kind of picking your prop. I'd be also curious to see someone sent, it was Dylan who sent the Jokic 10-plus rebounds. We'll just look at one more kind of option for this. I'm going to check trends really quick, too, and just see if there's anything else that we would possibly want to throw in here. I kind of like this. Jokic over 6.5 assists. That looks pretty juicy for me. So I'm going to go back over the Parlay Optimizer. Let's refresh here. Do we have to start over? It looks like we do. Sometimes when I'm running all my stuff on the computer, guys, it can get a little laggy. So just bear with me. So let's go. Jokic doesn't have. Got it. Okay. Let's take a look here then at I'm going to pull this back up. Who was it? It was Jackson over. And guys, like I said right now, as I'm doing this, would love to get your parlays for tonight down below in the live chat so we can just take a quick look at those, review them quickly, and then we're going to call it a night because the games are starting soon. So get those parlays down below to us in the live chat, and we're going to check your guys' research, see who's on it for tonight's games. So we got Watson, assists, or excuse me, it was rebounds under 5.5. And then Jokic's assists, what was it, 6+? Over 6.5. Let's take a look here and see what we're cooking with. I think this is going to be probably maybe the best of the three. 67% of games this season. How's the home games? 61% of home games. I like that. I really like what we're working with here. Last 10. Hidden 9 of the last 10, guys. I think this is the recipe, or this is the one that I would look at for tonight. Jackson over 1.5 assists. Watson under 5.5 rebounds. And then Jokic over 6.5 assists. If that last one, the Jokic over 6.5 assists, is on ESPN Bet, guys, this looks like a really solid parlay for me. And this is one that, for me, passes all the checks. The only thing is Jokic did go under this line last time he faced Toronto, but it was 6 versus 6.5. I would feel probably still comfortable taking it. But I think any of the options, any of the 3 or 4 different game options we looked at is really solid stuff. So yeah, guys, we're going to look through 1 or 2 parlays, and then we will call it a night. So drop your parlays down below in the live chat. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. We're going to be streaming here once a week, and we have daily shorts going up too. And we're trying to hit 900 subscribers. I think just like 10 away or so. So make sure to subscribe. And like I said, finally, if you are not a subscriber of Hall of Fame Bets, make sure to check us out down below in the description. Link is there. Promo code to get 25% off your first month. So yeah, what parlays do you guys have for us? I'm going to take a parlay or 2, get those in quickly, and then we will probably wrap it up and call it a night. So let's see if there's anything that you guys are cooking for parlays. Let's see. I'm scrolling through here, seeing if anyone has already sent anything. Okay. We've got our 2 from Fishy and Film. So we're going to go Fishy first here. And guys, what's really important is if you could please share the odds that you guys are getting from your sports books for these parlays. That is really important because we want to compare those offered odds with the implied odds. So, Fishy, if you could send the odds, and Films, if you could send the odds for these while I plug these in, that would be phenomenal. So I'm going to plug in, we're going to go Luka Doncic. Let's pull it up. Luka, oh, did I hit it? I think it is stat page. So we want Luka, and we're going to go over 33.5 points. And then we are going to add in LeVert. Ooh. What team is... I think LeVert's on the Cavaliers, if I'm not mistaken. I always forget where LeVert plays for some reason. Yes, he is on the Cavaliers. Under 16.5. I assume these are all points, yeah? Points under 16.5. And if you could please send the odds for these... Fishy, that would be really helpful. I want to get a good sense of what the odds are that your sportsbook are offering. And then Podzimski under 11.5, he says. So we're going to go to Warriors. And Films has set the odds 3 times on Prize Picks, so I assume that would be the same as a plus 300 on the sportsbooks. Fishy, what are the combined odds for these 3 in a parlay? That's what I'm curious about. Thank you for sharing the all points. And he sent, so these are... and then Podzimski. One thing with pods that concerns me is Curry being out. So that's something we'll take a look at here. Under 11.5. That's something that definitely concerns me is Curry being out. But we'll have to take a look. So this is the parlay. And I assume with those odds, that what are we getting, Fishy? Let me know. That'd be really helpful for them combined. So this parlay is hitting 26% of games this season. It's hitting, 54% of the last 10. This really is going to come down to how this compares, right, with the offered odds. Head-to-head, Doncic went under. Podziemski went under in both, which is good. So 100% for Podziemski. LeVert hasn't played Phoenix. Doncic over. Couple things that concern me. Let's see without players now. I want to see what Pods looks like without Curry. I'm pretty sure, right, without Curry, he's gone over this line in 3 of 4 games quite handily. The most recent one, right, he only got 8 points. He did go under. But in the other ones, 23, 13, 23. So that's where under 11.5 kind of concerns me for this Pods one, if I'm being honest. Fishy. The rest of these, I'd be curious to see without Mitchell, right? Without Donovan Mitchell. Still looking good there for LeVert. So I think the LeVert one is looking pretty solid to me. And then the Luka one, while he went under in the head-to-head, how did he do last year head-to-head against? He's gone over in both games against Chicago head-to-head from this and last season. So that makes me a little concerned, if I'm being honest. I feel like over 3.5 is pretty high. I know he's been on a tear recently. But I would be a little concerned with Doncic and a little concerned with Pods. Just because without Curry, and then Doncic has not performed as well as usual against the Bulls. He's struggled against them defensively, which I'm curious to see. Do they have a particularly strong defense? They're more of a middling defense. But still, I feel like this is a pretty high line even for Luka. So those are kind of my thoughts on it, Fishy. Again, it would be great if we could get the combined odds for these. If not, though, my favorite of the props is the LeVert one for sure. I think that one straight up could be really interesting just as a single player prop. Let's take a look real quick, and then we'll do films, and then we'll wrap it up because I know those games are starting soon, guys. So I want to send you on your way. But let's just take a quick look at this LeVert one as a straight up under 16.5 points. Just waiting for this to load. I'm going to have a quick sip of water. I've been talking like crazy on here. Is this going to load? I'm going to try and refresh. Just like I said, my computer's sometimes running a little slower just with all the live stream stuff, guys. So we've got LeVert, points, under 16.5. Hitting 69% of games this season, 89% of the last 20. I really like this one for tonight, guys. I think this LeVert one looks really good. So well done, Fishy, for the research on this one. I would consider just taking this one straight up. I think the research looks good. The only other thing, let's just check that without Mitchell one more time. That's the only other thing that's scaring me. But other than that, and it looked good without Mitchell. Yeah, he's gone under still in a lot of games without Mitchell. So I think LeVert straight up here, under 16.5. That's some beautiful. And at minus 105, this is a really great offering, guys. So definitely say I would definitely consider tailing this personally. But this is where, again, you have to weigh your pros and your cons and make your own decision. All right, we're going to go films. And I see a new face in chat. Al says, "Can I throw a parlay at you quick? Eager to see the percentage if possible." Yes, Al. I'll add one more. Al is the last one though. We have films, then Al, and Al. Yeah, I would love to know the odds though on the parlay that before you send them or once you send it, just so I know. That's a big point in comparing for the percentage. So we're gonna go over to the parlay optimizer. I'm gonna start over here, and we're gonna do films really quick. So Jaylen Brown, 20 plus points, add game. Durant, 25 plus, and then add game. I see Luka 33 again, so this one again is kind of one of these ones, right? I just talked about it. I don't know if this is the game. I know Luka's been crazy hot, but I don't know if this is the right matchup against the Bulls, especially away. Though Luka's performed really well on the road this season, right? Like if we go to Luka's right here, we can see in away games he's hit in 63%, so about the same. But I don't know if this Bulls matchup is the right one for him. So this is being offered at plus 230. You're getting 3 times on prize picks, which I assume is the same as plus 300, though I'm not certain. So don't quote me on that, but I think it is. Hidden 43% of the last 10, 300 or plus 300 for the last 20. So I would say, you know, maybe slight edge on this, but it's kind of pretty even to what prize picks seem to be offering. The head-to-head, we don't have much head-to-head data here, which I don't love. I think this matchup is pretty favorable. Let's see against similar ranked. Let's go player by player here. So we have Brown against similar ranked defenses as Portland. Not much of a change there, pretty spot on. Let's see Durant, similar ranked defenses against Cleveland. He's performed really well against those top ranked defenses. And then finally, the Doncic one we've kind of already spoken on. So yeah, I think there's some decent value here. I wouldn't say this particularly blows me away. Films, but I don't think it's a terrible look either. I think it's kind of on par with what you're getting offered from the book. So we're not particularly finding value here, but we're also not getting taken advantage of either, is what I would say. I wish there was a little bit more head-to-head data. And like I said, the Luka one concerns me a little bit against Chicago for that matchup. So, all right, guys, I'm going to move over to the last one. And this one is from our friend Al. And in films, that's not to say that it won't hit. That's not to say that. It's very possible it could. It's just there's a couple things that, like, data-wise, like there's my checks when I'm going through it. And it's not, like, necessarily passing the checks with flying colors, but it's also not sailing under either. So that's where I'm kind of in this middle ground on it. But I appreciate you sharing that. And I think out of those three, I think Durant 25 plus is one to monitor. Like, if there's no Booker, I feel really good about the Durant one. I do believe Booker is probably coming back tonight, though, which could kind of impact some things. So, all right, let's do Al's one, and then we will call it a night. And, guys, if anyone is not subscribed to Hall of Fame Bets, like I said, really great opportunity to check it out. In the description of this, 25% off your first month to get access to all these research tools, guys. The Parlay Optimizer is a game changer, and you will not find anything else like that where you can calculate the probability of a parlay using historical data out there. So I definitely recommend checking it out down below in the live chat. And guys, the people have spoken too, our subscribers have spoken. So, all right, let's do this one real quick, and then we will call it a night. So Jalen Duren, and he plays for the Pistons. Let's take a look here. Duren, 8+ rebounds, and I appreciate, Al, you sharing. I really appreciate you sharing the odds for this. This is super helpful. So Duren, 8+ rebounds. Nick Richards, he plays on, I believe, yes, he's in this game too. I believe, yes, Nick Richards, 6+ rebounds. Then we're gonna add in what else we're cooking with here. Bridges, 20+ points, and Grant Williams under 14.5. Under 14.5. So I know Grant Williams, guys. So when we calculate things in the Parlay Optimizer, if a player's been recently traded, we don't include data from his past team just because that would be kind of misleading. So the sample size for Grant Williams is pretty low. And what I would say here, Al, is the implied probability for this one is 14%. That's implied odds of plus 600 compared to that plus 195 you're getting on FanDuel. So this would concern me a bit, if I'm being honest here. I think Duren's rebounds look really good. Be curious to know what that is just straight up. What was it? It was 8+ rebounds. Rebounds. Boom. So that's why he's not got much value there. But that looks like, in terms of the data, it looks really good. Richards rebounds. Let's see. I'd be curious to see what that is straight up. Excuse me. Rebounds for Richards, 6+. minus 800. So the ones that are really carrying this are the Bridges 20 plus points and Williams under 14.5 points. While I know there's been quite a few injuries for Charlotte, Williams has only been there for 13 games, so I don't think that will impact his output that much. So he's gone over that line quite a bit, right? Damn, that's interesting. I'm curious to see. And I think that's probably the Charlotte injuries impacting that. Let's take a look here. And then Bridges 20 plus points. See the last 10. So Bridges only in 5 of the last 10. This isn't 20%, or the probability of this hitting is 20% based on the last 10. Last 20. Yeah, I would say I would personally probably, if I was researching this, I would probably stay away from it just because, the implied odds to offered odds aren't great, right? So there's not great value here. That's not to say, this could end up hitting. It could be completely wrong, but it's more about based on the historical data. I don't think the value on this is the best, if I'm being honest. Grant Williams under 14.5 looks better when you're researching it individually, but again, this is since he's joined Charlotte, so that's kind of giving us a little bit more information. I'd be curious to see the Charlotte roster page. So let's see in games without. The big one would be without LaMelo Ball. Grant Williams is what? Like, he's not as. What position would he be? He's a small forward. So let's see. Is there any small forward injuries? Yes, to Cody Martin. So let's see in games without Martin if that's impacted Williams at all. So Williams' minutes increase a lot when Martin's out. His points increase quite a bit too. But he's still under that 14.5 pretty comfortably. And the other one would be without LaMelo Ball. But I think LaMelo has been out the entire time since Williams has joined, which he has been. So, yeah, I think personally I would probably stay away from this parlay just because 14% probability on the season isn't great. And it's not just 14%, but also it's being offered at plus 195, which would probably be, I don't know. That's saying there's like a 40% or 50%, so not great implied odds to offered odds. But yeah, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I think we researched some really fire player props and parlays, and I think you guys provided us with some phenomenal research tonight. So I hope you really enjoyed the live stream. If you haven't checked out Hall of Fame Bets, I'm a broken record now. But if you want to access these tools, check the description of this video. There's a link to the website and a promo code for 25% off your first month. Guys, this is a game-changing app. Some of the features are really special. So, anyways, I am going to leave it there. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more live streams. We're going to have another one next week. And we also host, for our subscribers of the Hall of Fame Bets, we have a Discord server, and within that Discord, we host a Discord-only live stream as well. So if you want access to more of this type of content, I definitely recommend, again, checking out that promo code, 25% off your first month. So anyways, guys, best of luck with all your betting, research, and bets for tonight. I hope it goes really well for everyone. Fingers crossed that some of the stuff we've researched on here performs well too. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you guys all have a great night. And yeah, we'll be back next week, or I'll see you in the Discord live stream for our subscribers. So hope you all have a great night. Best of luck with your bets, and y'all take it easy. Peace.